Hey Bolters, have you ever been frustrated by the search experience on an app or a website? Maybe you're searching one thing and it's not showing results, only to find out later that it was there all along, just hidden under a different word or terminology? In this app, we're going to learn all about vector embeddings and how you can supercharge your app and your search experience so that you can do semantic-based, meaning-based search. Vector embeddings also extend beyond this use case, and you can use it for retrieval augmented generation so that you can use large bodies of text and use that as a knowledge base to feed answers. We're going to be using our customer feedback portal as the backbone for this project. Let's have a quick look through how it works. You can see we've got customer feedback items, and we can submit a new one, such as please improve the context window of the AI agent, and we can submit these requests, categorizing them as well. I'm sure you can imagine that if this feedback portal has hundreds or even thousands of feedback items, that the average user isn't going to come and check through all of them before adding their own feedback. This is where meaning-based search can become really handy, and before implementing a new item of feedback, they're going to search through other related ones first. Before we build out this feature, let's dive in and look at an example. So let's say person A wants to submit a request. Perhaps they find the database settings confusing. So they write, I can't understand the database settings panel. And they submit this. Now, person B comes to this site and they have the same issue. However, they describe it in a different way. Perhaps they describe the database as information storage. Now, it's quite obvious with the current way search is implemented that if they type the same feature, but they've explained it in a different way, it won't show up. A basic search needs to use the exact same letters. And if you get one letter wrong, then it will remove all the results. We can address this using vector embeddings and semantic search. Now, that may sound confusing, but I'll explain exactly what that means. Let's think about this from an optimal user experience perspective. Some users may not want to search before they submit. They'll come in ready to submit and they'll type out their request. To make sure we capture all users, let's change this submit request button to search for similar feedback items. When they click this, it should generate an embedding for their feature request, compare it to all the other embeddings with other feature requests, and see what's similar. The term embedding or vector embedding is basically a really long string of numbers, and that's a very simple way for computers to understand the semantic meaning behind text. To generate this, we need to use an LLM. So let's prompt the agent. After the user clicks submit request and they see the feature request submission modal, then they enter the title and description for their feature request. Instead of immediately being able to submit a request, this button should say check for similar feature requests. Clicking this should generate an embedding of their feature request using the title and description. It should then compare this to all other feature requests with embeddings. If there are matching features, the current modal should slide over to the left of the screen and the matching embeddings should appear on the right. Now, this is quite a wordy prompt, so let's enhance it. It's also a multi-step, slightly complicated request. So let's put it in plan mode and send it off. So we've answered the clarifying questions. Now we'll turn off plan mode and submit the request. So the agent's finished working. Now let's test it out. Please implement dark mode. Let's do something similar to that. I would like dark and light mode support. Request failed, 401 error. So often when we're doing something complicated like this, we may get an error the first or second time. Let's go to our console. Let's copy all the error messages. In case you don't know which one it is, just copy them all. We'll paste it in here. After clicking check for similar requests on the submit a feature modal, I received a request failed with a 401 error. Above are my console logs. I have it in plan mode so it can explain the issue, and we'll send that off. Agents come back to us saying it's looked deeply into the authentication and how it's managed, and it's proposed a clear path forward. So let's select implement this plan. So let's clear the console logs. Let's have another look and see if it's improved. Please add dark mode support to my page. Again, another issue. We'll copy this over and describe it to the agent. I'm now getting the error saying the edge function returned a non-200 status code when trying to check for similar requests in the submit feature request modal. Here is my console log. Please think deeply about this issue. So the agents looked into this even more. It's come back to us with a plan. Now let's implement it. Okay, let's test it out again. Please implement dark mode support. Now this time it's saying failed to check for similar requests, which makes me think it's got no other embeddings to compare this embedding with. So let's see if we can backfill all the other feature requests with their respective embeddings. To give a little bit of transparency, let's look into the database, come into feature requests, and if we swipe across, we'll see that all of them don't have embeddings. So this is what we're trying to populate. This time I received the error message saying failed to check for similar requests, making me think that it didn't work because none of the other items have a vector embedding. Please use our embedding service to create embeddings for all of our existing features. Let's plan this out and send. So let's answer the clarifying questions and send it off. So the agent's finished working and it's added a generate embeddings button, which should backfill the currently empty embeddings in the feature requests page. So we see all of these are empty. Let's see if this works. And just like that, it's generated the 6 embeddings. So if we look at our features, here we can see each of these now have an embedding, which is a really long string of numbers. Let's test out the semantic search. It would be great to have dark mode in the interface. And there we go. It's found one similar request. It says there's a 68% match with the feature that's asking, please implement dark mode. It's done the job of correctly identifying the most similar feature and revealing it here. Let's test it out with something else. Please improve the marketing of the landing page. There were no similar requests, so it's logged it instantly. Here it is. Please improve the marketing of the landing page. Now let's say the copywriting on the home page could be improved. And just like that, it's been able to find a similar request and display it to the user. We could definitely improve the user interface of this to make it a little simpler, but you get the gist and it does the job. And there we go, guys. Well done. In this video, we've got our head around what vector embeddings are, and we've learned how useful they are when it comes to semantic search. You can take this one step further and use this to implement retrieval augmented generation. If you'd like to learn more about that, there's plenty of resources online. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. And as always, in the comments, please leave any suggestions for other content that you'd like to learn about. And with that said, keep on bolting.